Hello friends, it's been quite some time that I did my last video on handling table controls in BDC. Today's session is mainly focused on the BAPIs. So before we go ahead with the session, I would also like to tell you something, some development on this website. What I did, I have uploaded a sample text spec document here. I have tried to remove the client logo and some of the other details, but still if you see anything like that, please ignore it. Don't try to spread this document with too many people or try to share it with too many people. It's basically for your own use. Just download it and see how a technical spec looks like. It's meant for the people who have not seen a tech spec till date. I'll also be uploading a functional spec very soon and a code review template. Sample resume is already there. Interview questions I tried to start, but then I didn't get time. For reports, it's already there. We'll see if I can do it for BDCs now and then later for BAPIs. So I have also I created a new link for knowledge document and then uploaded a document today related to BAPI. So the same PPT I have also opened here, which I'll be discussing few parts of it before I actually get into the system. So that's about it, and so just make sure that you keep on visiting this website so that you can also get some updates or whatever progress I'm making on this one. You guys also updated about it and then make benefit of it. So okay, so today's session it's focused on BAPI. When I'm saying BAPI, it's basically BAPI. You'll see people calling it BAPI, which looks weird, and then the correct way of pronouncing it would be BAPI. So BAPI is nothing but Business Application Programming Interface. The name itself suggests everything. Business application, that is one thing, or do understand it like this: application programming interface. So application programming interface is one part and B is business, so it's related to the business. Before I go ahead, I would also like to tell you about another concept that is called objects. Now don't go with the object oriented stuff. For now we'll just understand the object as a component of our programming structure. So object is a part of or a component of my programming structure, and then when I add business to it, then it becomes a business object. So a business object is going to be a component of my uh, of course programming, but then business related programming, which means creating an invoice or updating a vendor master, creating a new customer, something related to business. So here I'm talking about business object. So an object which helps me to work on business related stuff. It could be anything, any meaningful thing. So business system. Now application programming interface. So many of you would be knowing that what an interface is actually. Interface is a way, or it's a program, or it's a process, or it's something which ensures the smooth data flow between two applications. So again, as we said, application programming interface. So it's a way of making sure that proper communication or proper data flow is happening between two different uh, like systems or two different environments. So that is how an interface comes into picture. So first place I talked about business object. In second place I was talking about interface. Now if you see this diagram, we have an interface in between, and whenever there will be an interface, it will be in between two different systems. So somebody wants to access the business objects, again creating an invoice, or somebody wants to do it. So and then he wants to do it outside this kernel area. So this is my kernel where this structure is actually placed. So someone, for example, if I talk about even ABAP, so ABAP is basically at application layer. Now, even ABAP also, if the ABAP also wants to access the business object, it has to go via the interface. That is called application programming interface. Or it could be any non-SAP system like C++, RFCs, any system, C, COM, DCOM, Corba, whatever. So interface will be in between, and then it will get a way to access business object. Now, then we have a lot of business objects here, so many business objects. So those business objects would be administered by the business object repository, which means a place where all the business objects are stored. It could be customer order, it could be invoice or customer itself, PO, purchase requisition, purchase order, delivery, anything. So I hope, I mean, you guys are trying to correlate what I'm trying to say here. So a repository which will store all the business objects will be called business object repository. So we can also call it BOR or BOR. So BOR is a very significant place. It stores a lot of important business objects. Again, business objects means objects related to a business process. Examples of business objects you can see here. We have an employee, we have a sales order. Now, the attributes of employee would be its name, its address. Similarly, a sales order's attributes would be customer, its date, item list. Basically, the properties. When I'm saying attribute means property. So, you want to apply something. You want to do some operation on this business object. So how we were going to do that? You can do it only via a method. So object, interface, method, you can correlate the concept now. I'll focus more and more on it when I'm discussing the object-oriented concept. It might take some more time. We are progressing very slowly, but so we have different methods of accessing a business object now. Obviously via interface. So I might want to change the address of this employee, or the employee himself wants to make the address change. Somebody wants to promote this employee. Create display log, create a sales order, display a sales order, delete a sales order. It could be anything. So business object browser. Okay, so we'll hold here itself, and I'll go to SAP. And I'm going to a transaction SW01. So SW01 is basically the business object builder, but at the same time it can also pull the data from business object repository. And at the same time, what we can do, we can create our own business objects here. So we are not going to do it for now. So we have a business object repository which is underlying the business object builder. Now I can access the business object from here. I can display it. I can, obviously we can change also. We can create a new one. We can copy it as a subtype. A lot of things we can do. We can test it. So this is the place. And then we will be skipping through the useless thing. So you can see the definition. A BAPI is a well-defined interface for the processes and data of a business application. Every time we will say it's all about business. Implemented as the method of an object in the business object repository. So let's say this is a method BUS2032. For now we'll just pick a method. Okay, don't think for now that where from I got this name. Let's say there is a business object BUS2032. I'm hitting on the display button. Now if I go inside, I can see the interface. I can see the key fields. I can see the attributes, and then I can see the method. So if you see here, I can see the method as create, display, edit. So create a sales order, display a sales order, edit a sales order, delete the billing block. A lot of operations can be done on the business, on the sales order related business data via accessing these methods, which would be a part of different interfaces. Now those interfaces could be IDOC based, could be any other thing. So don't think about IDOC as of now. We have different events here. These events will be very useful while we are working, while we will be working on workflows. Hold it here itself. So for now we are talking about methods. So if I go inside the sales order create, and you can see that we have a tick mark here, it means it's already ready to be used or released. So hit on program. So you can see that SAP has already provided a set of code which will help to create a sales order. So obviously when somebody is accessing that method, internally that method would be calling this code. And then you can see your call transaction and all lot of things here. Yeah. So when you are actually creating a sales order, see, they have called a function module SD sales document save. So once that is created, they would be saving it. So different function modules are called here. It's a normal piece of code like we create in AC38, but then the way it's placed here is different. Call transaction, you are well versed of it now. So this object, this business object is related to the sales orders. And then, okay, so you know what is a BAPI? It's a well-defined interface implemented as a method of an object in the BOR. Where BAPIs can be used, that is fine, it can be used. Okay. So you can see we have different non-SAP stuff here which will call a BAPI internally, and then again that BAPI will hit the ABAP object or business object or an ABAP code or whatever. It's language independent, doesn't matter. Okay, it's an object oriented concept, access to object methods in the business object repository. Stable interface. So stable because first of all, being a standard one, SAP takes care of all the thing. Compatibility of course provided by SAP, and interface is already set. It can be used within R3 and from external systems also. And then leave it. So every BAPI would be actually would be available in SAP as a function module. So when you want to access that BAPI, it's actually you are going to call a function module. The difference here is that function module would be remote enabled, so that if you want you can call it from a non-SAP system as well. So okay, that's all. So no more PPTs. Let's get into the system now. So we have a business object in which we have an interface, we have the method, we have the attributes. Again, you know the attributes like the name of an employee, the address of the employee, or the date of that sales order, creation date, so attributes will be here. So you can see that what kind of, who's the ordering party, which sales organization, which date the sales document was created, net value. So a lot of attributes of that sales order is available here. Different methods we can apply of that business data using this business objects method. So here you can see create from date 1, but then you can see it's a stop, means it's an obsoleted method. Now change from data, so it's working fine. Green means it's working fine. Red means it's obsoleted. So we are currently into SWO1, and then the moment I clicked on this green button, it took me to the corresponding BAPI or the function module. So you can see here. So this is going to be one way of searching for a BAPI. But the best way, if you don't know, go to google.com and then 70% of the chance is that you'll get the exact BAPI. Before you start breaking your head, go to google.com. So remote enabled, you can see, so that it can be called from outside. Start immediately means it will immediately update the data high priority, that is V1 update. So a lot of methods are there. Every method will correspond to a particular function module or a BAPI. And events, it will be used in workflow, so let's forget about it. The other thing, so we discussed about a particular object or an interface type. Now there is another transaction that is called BAPI itself. So this transaction is actually called Business Application Programming Interface Explorer. So let's see what magic we have here. So during your interview, it's a very famous question. Somebody might ask you that what is the difference between a remote function call, that is an RFC enabled function module, and a BAPI. So you have to tell that the concept remains same. Both are actually going to be an RFC or a remote function call. But then a BAPI is going to deal with the business related data through business object repository. So there would be a repository through which a method and interface would be accessed, which will actually work for a particular business data. But a remote function call not necessarily should be hitting a BOR, because if it's hitting a BOR, then we will call it BAPI. So there is a simple remote function call. Let's say you call it from outside SAP, a remote function module which will just print hello world. So it's not hitting any business object repository. So of course we cannot call it BAPI. So the difference between RFC and BAPI, only one difference, the major one, that BAPI is going to hit the business object repository via the methods available in the business object or the interface in business object repository, which can be browsed through SWO1. Now BAPI Explorer is another transaction. In this one you can see different modules or different areas here. It's not used very widely. This transaction is not used because everything we can get on Google itself, but then I want to give you a heads up here. Let's say I'm getting into sales and distribution. It's a module that is called ST module. Get into basic function or get into sales, then get into sales order. Then if you come here, create from date 1, you can see that this method is obsoleted, so we should not use it. It's not that we cannot, but then we should not use it. If I get into the next one, create sales order, this is release status, means we can use it. So there is a function module available here, BAPI sales order create from date 2. If I go here in the attributes, it's a remote enabled one, which is okay. not a problem. Then it will have import. You know what is an import and export stuff. Changing, you know, tables, you know. Then exceptions. In BAPI you won't find exception. Instead, what will happen, you'll see a return table. So a return table will store the outcome of that BAPI execution. So if I get into the associated type or the structure, you'll see here that it will store the message type, message ID, message number, then the message text, and then obviously the standard variables of that message. But most of the thing you'll get here. So every time when you call a BAPI or you call a remote enabled function module, which is this BAPI in your program, after the call is done, you have to check the return table whether there is a message with error or type E. If there is a message type E, then it's not going to work, or it did not work at all. So why we need to do that? Because as I said, we are not having the exceptions here, due to which we won't get the size of RC value. So we have to rely on this return structure or the return table. Similarly, you can see that for billing, BAPI billing document create. So some of the important business processes will be available in the BAPI Explorer, for which you can go and navigate around and then try to find out the BAPI. So that is one option. The other option is try to do it via the business object repository and go to SWO1. And the other thing, or the other way of doing it, is go to SE37. So if there is a BAPI, then that will start with BAPI underscore. So that is the nomenclature. So it's actually reading the business object repository now, and it will pull all the BAPIs available. It will put it in front of you. You need to decide on the relevant one. That you can decide by BAPI transaction BAPI. You go to BAPI Explorer and then take a final call. But again, as I said, better to visit google.com. God hang. So even if you try to do it from there, it will push you to this transaction only, which we were seeing earlier. That is this one. So to find out a business object, you need to go to SWO1 and then go to information system, try to give the relevant text here, something like material. So this is not going to help that much. So hit on SAP application, then go via modules, like let's say M, or go to ST. So in ST module, sales, we have application component R3 sales. Go in this one, you will see different business objects related to different business processes. So I'm talking about sales order. I can select this one. So you need to actually copy it from there. It didn't pick it here. So it will take you to this screen once you hit on there, and then you can see the different methods in which the green one means the BAPIs are released in the release status, and then you can use it. So that's all you need to know about BAPI at this point of time. The next objective is how to call a BAPI in your day-to-day requirement. So theoretical part, I would say it's done now. Now since you guys have already gone through the BDC video, or if not, at least you must be knowing, because then only you have jumped to this topic BAPI. So you can see that this is a sales order, normal rush order. Don't go with the description of rush order, it's configured by the functional consultant. So we'll call it, it's a sales order, and then I'm having so many line items in this. So we have 60 line items here. Now if I have to create a sales order normally, then what actually I need to do, I need to I need to automate this process, which means I have a lot of data, and then I need to create many sales orders. So till now, whatever knowledge we have gathered, based on that we can propose that okay, we will write a BDC program, and then we can do one thing, we can put that BDC program in a function module, we can put some import and export structures there, and then we can call each instance of that function module. I mean, we can call an instance of that function module each time to create a new sales order. So that could be one way of doing it. But what if SAP has already provided the BAPI? So you don't need to actually do that much of hard work. So no need to create even a BDC. So what we need to do, we need to import the data from our Excel sheet or whatever way we are getting the data, arrange it as per the structures available in that BAPI function module, and then call that function module. So we are going to do that now. I'm not sure if I'm having a good data, and then that would help, but then we will try everything to. So we have our program ready. And just activate the required components here. So till now everything is fine. Now I'm going to refer this sales orders data and then create a new sales order using the BAPI. So if you guys remember what we were just saying sometime back, I went into sales and distribution. then sales, then order. So create from that one is obsolete, so I'm not going to use it. I'll use this one, create from that. So if I double click here, so I know that there are some of the parameters which I must pass, which are not optional. So I need to pass on the header data. And then you see in the BAPIs, wherever you have data being passed, you would also be having a corresponding structure which ends with X. So for example, you have this structure BAPI HD1, which means the header 1, in which you have all these things like document type, sales or distribution channel, division, like these things, wherein you are going to pass the values. But at the same time, if you see this structure, all the fields would be char1, which means if in the previous structure you are passing the sales org, in this structure you should pass sales org, means this structure hyphen sales org equal to X. So this way SAP would come to know that what all details you are passing. It will export the sales document number post creation. It's not changing anything. We have all tables available here. In this partner table is mandatory. It's not optional. Rest of the things are optional, which means there could be a sales order without even an item data. But yes, you have to focus on this, that if there is an items input, then there is an items INX also, in which you have to put X for everything. So what we are going to do, we are going to refer this BAPI, and then this is how you are going to handle every BAPI. There is no other I would say procedure, or there is no other technique. You are going to use the same thing, I mean same concept everywhere. So you can find out the BAPI via whatever way I told, the standard way, but then that is more useful for the interview point of view, interview perspective. But then go ahead and then Google it out, you'll find your BAPI, use it in your program the way we are going to use now. So what we are going to do here is that the important structures in the BAPI, we have to declare a structure in our program. So we can do the same way. Like this. But then since we have to follow the coding standards and we know that it's going to be a normal structure, it's not the part of table. Like here it's not table, so it's going to be a normal structure. We have to put WA. So it's a work area. Now export, obviously I want to find out the sales document number, so I need one more variable. Like this. Then next would be tables. The most important one is my return table. So IT underscore return type table of this. Like this. Then next what we are going to pass is the item data. So we can copy this IT underscore this table of this. work area as well, wa underscore this. So indenting the code is also necessary so that it can look beautiful and then you can understand it whenever required. So we have declared these structures and the corresponding internal tables and work area. And you can see this one is a mandatory structure, we need to declare it at any cost. Rest of the things we will not declare, it's not required. So we declared the important internal tables and work area. Let's see what is the problem here. So try to keep the name same as the one which is available in the structure of the table as a part of that BAPI function module, so that you can also correlate it easily. So till now we have declared our import data, export data and the tables. So we are done with our declaration. Now I assume that you guys know how to upload the Excel sheet and then how to pull the data in your internal table and work area, because I have done that as a part of the BDC video. So I'm not going to do it for the sake of saving some time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to push the data directly by doing a hard coding. So I'm going to pull the details from the other sales order. This one which is already created, I believe even this was created by me only. Okay, so I'm going to import some of the things here. Okay, so I'm going to the structure order header and then I'm going here. I know what all things I have: order type, then it's basically sales organization, distribution channel, division, then sales office, sales group, document date, and all it will be picked automatically. So we have order type, sales organization, distribution channel, division, sales group. That's all we have here, which is going to be important, and then we'll see if we face any problem. So in our code, I'm going to fill this structure with the important fields values. Proceed. Oh God. Equal to, so document type is what? Is R4, that is rush order or a quick order. So this way, I'm just doing a hard code to save some time. I don't want to write the useless code now to upload Excel sheet and all. I know you guys can do it now. Next is sales order, then distribution channel, division. So sales order is 1000. Distribution channel is 12. Division is 00. Sales group is 111. Now somebody might ask this question that which basis we will decide that what all fields we should fill here. So the very simple answer is that whenever you run the transaction to create a sales order, so what all fields you are passing there, you can pass those fields. So those will be like your minimum inputs. And then whatever things system could determine, it will determine here also. So pass on the inputs as much as possible, not as less as possible. So try to provide more and more input so that system has to do less homework. Similarly, as I said, if we are doing this, we need to do one more thing. We need to do it for x like this and then make it x. So this is, so let's assume that our header data is done. Save it. Okay, and then few more things which we can, yeah. Okay, we pass the PO number and PO data as well. You can see PO number, PO date, but I don't think it's going to be mandatory. So we're not going to pass it now. We'll see after we get the output. Okay, the other important thing is test run. So the test run, basically we need to pass a flag here. If I double click on the type, you can see it's a char one. So flag means if I do test run equal to x, which means BAPI is not going to create a sales order in reality. Instead, what it will do, it will simulate your data and then it will let you know that data is fine, you can create a sales order. So what happens, we most of the time we give two options to the user. If there is a test run available in the BAPI, then we will provide the same to the user that first he can simulate it. If the test run option is not there, then we can't do anything. We won't try to do any tweaking from our side. Test run is there means user can do a simulation first and later I can call it without test run. So this is done. I have passed the header data and then let's go to the table, order item. So what all things we can pass in the item. So of course we need to pass into the work area first and then append it to the internal table. So item number, we have to pass it from our side. It's a 6-digit item number. Then of course the material, you can see the material, next would be the quantity, and then next would be unit of measure. So quantity is 1, then unit of measure. So 1, 2, 3. Item category determines automatically, but then let's pass it for now. This item category. So let's pull the material flow. For example, put it here. So in real time, it has to be done via the Excel sheet. You will get everything in the Excel sheet, upload it into the internal table, and distribute it accordingly in the work area in different internal tables. So you should be able to do that now. So I'm not doing it for now. Quantity, let's say 10. Unit equal to this. Item category is 10. And then append. Like this. So I have got one record in my internal table. So as I said earlier, we have to fill the X also by marking it X, so that system knows that you are passing these things. Okay. So what else we have? So we have the item structure, and then we have the department structure. Partners. So for partners, we don't have the X structure, which is fine, not our problem. So whatever we have, we will try to provide the details. So if I go to the header, normally system determines the partner automatically, but here it's asking us to provide the same. So you have the partner role, which is this. Then you have the partner, which is partner number, which is this one. Then you have the name, and street. Then you have the postal code, which is your PO box. Here, PO box, postal code, this one. Then you have the city is here. So we can provide all these details So let's provide the same. So I'm not doing anything special. I'm just trying to pass on the values to different internal tables. For that, I'm passing the values into the work area first, and then I'm just appending that work area to the internal table. So I did not do anything special till now. So you can see that the role is sold to party. So okay, we have a table called BAPI, which stores all the partner functions. So if I go here, I provide the sales order. So you can see that no line items, all are related to header. Then partner function is if you do an F4 here, you'll get the details now. So VBPA is the table which will store all the partner functions. I want to get the code. That's why I came here. So code is like I want to enter the sold to party. So sold to party, the code is SP. SP partner number. Partner number is here. We don't have that SP. Okay, that is fine. 1175. So sold to party generally referred for customer to whom the item is sold actually. The name, street, then postal code, next would be city. So I want to pass only one partner as of now, and then we'll call the BAPI to see what is happening. So now I have all my structures filled pretty much, and then I'm good to call the BAPI. So what I did till now is basically I mapped my Excel sheet data to the different corresponding BAPI structures or tables. Next task would be to call the BAPI now. Okay, we'll wait for this to be activated. So it's active now. Window selection. So the BAPI which we were discussing till now is BAPI sales order create from data 2, go to pattern, provide the function module name as you were providing when calling a function. So header in is basically the structure. Header ins is basically the structure. Test run, let's make it X. Sales document edge. So I want to receive the sales document value in this variable v underscore BBELN, and then I want to see my return table, which would be IT underscore return items, basically IT underscore this this. So we passed all the important details. We can remove the details which are not relevant. So this is how we call a BAPI in our program. For now, I'm going to put a breakpoint. Let's run this program. Just have a look at the structures and the tables. It should carry proper data. So you can see the details here. Okay, here there is a problem. It should be INX. Okay, I'll go back to the program again and fix that. So it should be IMX. So let's run it again. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things here. So we have 5 x's here corresponding x. The return is blank obviously because the function module or the BAPI is not yet executed. These are the item details we are passing, the minimum details. Then obviously an x against it. Here also it should be the proper item number. Okay, my mistake. Then this is the partner data which we have passed. I'll go and fix it here. Item number should be same. Item number should not be x. Okay. So as of now, we are calling this in simulation mode. So I did an F6 here. And let's see what kind of message we get in my return table. So basically system is trying to simulate the data. It came here, so we cannot deal with size of RC here. Instead we have to deal with the return table. So it's saying that sales document type RO is not defined, which is strange. Okay, I'll pause this video. Let me debug this and see what is the problem. 1 second. Okay, so I was just looking into this, and then what I found here that okay, so we have the table tvko. 1 second. So tvak. So tvak is the master table for sales document type. And then if I go here, if I go get into the field of UART data element, double click, and then I have already explained about the conversion widgets. Let's check this function module. RO here, execute. So actually you will get SO. So SAP treats RO as SO. So if I pass SO here instead of RO, then that error is gone. I am getting some other error which I will see after this. So if I go to IT return now, so it's saying that no measurement unit is assigned to this. Okay, let's comment this unit and all. So that error is also on. Please enter sold to party or shipped to party. Okay, so we have entered sold to party. What's the problem here? Sales header in. Okay. So we have sold to party in this, I believe. So it's looking for the customer number. 1 second. So this one. When we create a normal sales order, then also we provide the customer number. So it's all about data and simulating it. Simulating the data on a dummy system is very difficult. So okay, we'll just try to do it. So this one is sold to party. System is asking for this. One second, let me find out that one also. 1 second. Sorry about that. So I'm back now. So actually there was some memory issue and then I got a short term, but then okay, I have analyzed the problem. So it's basically it's going to be a tip for you. So whatever we pass in the BAPI, SAP expects everything in the internal format. So you already know about the conversion exits. So same thing you need to apply here. You can see here that Instead of RO, I passed SO here because of the conversion exit, and then here I was passing SH or SP for sold to party and shipped to party. So even for that also, so this is the field for partner function. If I double click here, so there some conversion exit is already available. So whatever we need to pass in the BAPI. Okay, in fact, what we could have done is, you can see that SAP has already provided an option. So what we can do, we can put a convert here so that SAP can take care of the conversion on its own. So then in that case, if I pass even RO, then SAP will take care of it. Even if I pass SH and SP, ship to party and sold to party, so SAP would automatically convert this into internal format because we are passing that flag here. So now if I run this program, I don't know what happened. I got a memory dump. Let's see if this goes fine this time. Okay, I'm facing memory issues. Let me see if I can skip this at runtime. Okay, so if I come here now, you can see that. So what I did, that memory dumping issue, I skipped at runtime. So now you can see that sales header IN has been processed successfully. Sales item IN has been processed successfully. This sales document is not yet complete, which is okay. Let it be like that. But then you have to understand the concept now. So what I did, I called this BAPI, I passed on the corresponding details, and I also passed this convert equal to X so that system can automatically take care of the conversion. So earlier I was facing an issue that order type RO does not exist, but now system automatically converts this into SO. Similarly, SH to WE and then SP to AG, internal conversions, system will take care. And then whenever you are passing any customer number or any other data, it should be proper in the proper format. For example, a customer number would be of 10 digit, and then I have only 1175, so I have to add additional 6 digits here. Make sure that it's done at runtime if it's not already available, and then call this BAPI. Now, so whatever we did was a test run. If I comment this, then system will create the sales order, and then I'm passing one more thing here. If so, we'll do one thing. If IT and if not, underscore return, which means there is some data in IT return. We'll do one thing. Read IT underscore return. So we'll read this internal table transporting no fields with key message type equal to E. So we'll see if there is any error message in this internal table. If not, size of RCS initial, which means there is no error message, then we need to do a commit work, which means whatever changes we have made to the database, it should be saved like we did earlier while updating the Z table. So for this we have a BAPI transaction commit. In this you can pass x wait equal to x, which will be as good as commit work and wait. And then so some of the changes which I did now, I removed this test run equal to x. So what you can do, you can create a radio button on your selection screen. You can put test run and you can put real time run or something. So when test run equal to x, you can just pass that variable here. Else you can just make it blank, and then it will work accordingly. Now we are going to run this in real time mode, and then if that is going fine, we will do a commit work so that the sales order is saved in the database. So let's run it. So you can see that sales order has been processed successfully, not yet complete is fine, it's just a warning message. This order has been saved, 12064 has been saved. So if not IT return is initial, we are going to check if there is any message with error type E. So no message, which means size of RC is not initial. Then we will do a commit work so that the data is saved in the database. It won't save in the database automatically. You have to do a commit work. You need to give wait equal to x so that system takes its own time and do a commit work properly so that everything is placed in the corresponding database tables. So if I go to BA03 and try to see this, let us see if it's already there. So 12064, no, it's not yet. Commit work is not yet done. Let's wait for the commit work to happen. Here also you can see the return table, whether it was done properly or not. So it's done now. So system has already assigned 12064 to the new sales order number. All it did was uh, basically to insert all the data in the corresponding database tables. What is this? I hope you know. Okay. So now you can see whatever we passed in the in our program. So let me just go to the program now. Okay, so we passed RO 101200, RO 101200. Rest everything was taken care by the system automatically. Then date is basically today's date. Payment terms, it will be determined automatically. Then if I go to the header data, go to the partners, so everything will be determined automatically, but this and this, since we passed there, it has come here. Sold to party and shipped to party. Conversion has been taken care by the system automatically because we did a convert equal to X. And then the line item, we have passed this LATC 10 10, LATC 10, quantity has not come here, 10. Looks like some issue in the quantity, which is okay. It should be like 10.00 or something. So yeah, so what I wanted to tell here is that let's say I'm having 100 line items here. So now I don't need to enter 5 line items at a time and then do a page down. Now I don't need to go via screen by screen and then enter the data in SAP. So it's basically it's going to save your time, it's going to save your effort, it's going to simplify the coding. Now I didn't actually do any recording. I did not do any recording here. I simply mapped all the data to the corresponding tables and structures. I called this BAPI. I can call it in test mode to validate whether it's working fine, or I can call it in a direct real-time mode and then do a commit work if there is no error message. And then that way my coding is very simple. So all you need to do is you need to get the data by using those function modules from your Excel sheet or work area, notepad files. Then from there you map it to different structure by putting a loop on that data and then call the map if the structures are filled or the tables are filled. Based on the return table, you can take a commit work. So that's all about BAPIs. So it's basically it's going to offer its own benefit. Now if I go inside the BAPI, the function module, so system is actually calling another function module, that is HD sales document create. So basically if you see, even this one is also remote enabled, but then they have converted this into BAPI by applying lot of other I would say checks and other things or other logic, so that, and then internally you can see it's calling another function model sales document maintain. So basically it's like so many function modules called one by one. So header and item, so it's basically system is taking care of everything here now. No need to put no need to do a loop and all, no need to apply the or the figure out the logic that after how many lines or which screen resolution, what kind of thing. So that pain is totally gone now. It's a very simple code. Just need to call the BAPI basically this is going to be your interface in the form of a function module. The way you have called it in the web code, same way it can be called from outside in Java or .NET based system. I have seen people calling it, and then it helps a lot. Based on the return tables, they can also do their processing at their end. So these things will be sent back to them. Obviously, the same way they have to map their internal tables in their system and then capture the data. So that's all about BAPI. That's all about business application programming interface and the benefits offered by it over a traditional BDC programming. Having said that, it's not going to eliminate the need of BDC, because BAPI is again related to business object or a business process, and not everything can be a business process. Few things can be just a normal master data, few things can be just normal config for which you might need to do a BDC as well. So that's about it, and then thank you. We'll catch up again.